Look at that. I think we're on.
We are on.
Let's slap this number 370.
2.
Yes, it is. 372, boy.
Yep.
Yes. I'm wearing my new Texas Music
Ah,
Emporium t-shirt. Yeah. The lads gave it to me at the shop, which we're going to talk about today. I'm going to pose a question to you. I'm covering this for a reason. Tell me
yes.
the local businesses that support local music, if you would be so kind.
Well, around me, we've got Cactus Music, one of the big ones, as they always have.
Sig's Lagoon.
Sig's Lagoon, for sure. I'm trying to think, because there's so many of them disappeared now. Gosh, who else do I have around me? I mean, well, there's the obviously the venues themselves. I mean, Under the Volcano is a huge one. They've been around for ages.
Well, Continental Club first. Let's go order of importance.
Yeah, Continental Club, Big Top, where we were just a couple nights ago with the mighty LONEFEATHER. Definitely want to talk about that. There's not a lot that comes to mind.
Yeah, so I thought of Texas Music Emporium because they give discounts to musicians for working musicians. You know, I play bouzouki. No, I mean, when they know you're in a band, they take very, very good care of you. And another guy that just doesn't get enough praise in general is Mr. Neil Sargent, who
Oh yeah,
saying you bring in a dog guitar and you leave with just a masterpiece. Just he really can, and he's not he's not a magician. He will tell you that if you come in with a guitar and the action is 8 feet above the neck and you want that, he can get it comfortably low. However, if you want that ridiculous action where you can just that there's barely daylight between the strings and the neck, he's going to tell you you can't do that because it's sonically not physics and science and maths and all they all prevent you from putting the strings that close and getting a good sound from your instrument. So anyway, so
yeah.
I just Neil Sargent always needs to be. There's so many people that we're grateful to that support live music, but Neil Sargent and also our good friend Rob over at Texas Music Emporium, they will clear the bench when we come in, meaning whatever they're working on.
Yeah.
If we need it, and again, we don't come in there for foo-foo stuff. We come in there for road gear, for gear that needs to be done yesterday because we broke it yesterday. We need it, we need it again. Mm-hmm. And Neil and Robert Hamilton over Neil Sargent, Robert Hamilton, they will take gear off the bench and make your. Now again, they're not going to take it and do a complete refret job, or they're not going to come in and do
right.
cosmetic stuff. But I mean, when you need your workhorse, that's your stable. That's your
Yeah.
They're brilliant for that. So yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about what music. What supports live music? And like you said, obviously the venues. A lot of these venues, and I'll give you a good example of one out by me in Point Blank, is Bullet Grill House, and
yes,
Mr. Moran out there does. I don't know if he needs live music. I think that he wants to have live music and support live. It's what it feels like to me because the food is very, very well priced, low price, high quality, great service, and it is it's definitely not a linen napkin. It's not a high class, but man, you get a lot of food and it's well done, and great staff. Every time I go in there, even the punters in there will. Big smile and a hello. It's just really friendly and really an enjoyable place to eat and to think. But so again, I don't even know if he needs that live music. I know some of those corporate places that we played in the past needed it in a big way because after their dinner crowd, it was just impossible to get any. Are we getting signs of life? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, Turbo just texted me. Should we continue this conversation or finish this up and then let him in? Not that I've already interrupted your train of thought.
No. There's really nothing much else to add. In that corporate or places off the beaten path will put live music in because their late night tapers off and they need that. They need that food and the alcohol sales and they want that. So again,
Yeah.
we as performers and also as customers, recognize that some of these places do not need the live music,
Yeah.
but they enjoy the local scene, and they enjoy their the camaraderie of their custom mixed with the people that normally wouldn't show up to the venue for one reason or another. So yeah, there's not really much more.
Yeah.
I've just again, we love local coffee, we love local custom that benefits the environment, their environment. So yeah, let's turbofy this thing.
Okay.
Voila! There it is. One leg,
There he is.
peg leg, embracer. Arr. What's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah, not much. We're just making sure that we grace the planet with the #1 rock and roll podcast in the
Multiverse.
That's right. Above and
Yeah.
beyond, within, without.
Yeah.
Yes. This is SlapperCast, and we're just Turbo's a little late today. He's feeling a little salty. I'm feeling a little music emporium. Chad's feeling a little moxie. Wait a minute.
Hey,
Fighting words.
where are those hands?
Yeah.
No, sorry, sir. It's not what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah. With my handy dandy pellet gun, my little BB gun, I shot a wasp, hit it.
Really?
And, yeah. It was on one of the beams, right, that you can see behind me. One of the beams, and
Yeah.
I'm having all that stuff redone so I can shoot it. Put holes in it. Doesn't matter. But there was a wasp on there. It's big. Oh, no, it wasn't a wasp. It was like one of those carpenter beetles. But it looks like a wasp. The long body. It looks like it's got a sting or two. But
That's great.
yeah. So I shot it, and my verification was it fell right to the deck, and I was able to see that the part of it that was missing. I was very, very impressed. I was able to hit a very from very, very small insect from a long way away. So hopefully he'll tell his friends. Don't piss off that guy down there with the little BB gun. So how's everybody feeling? We good?
Good. Yeah.
Last time we were together, we were with a band called LONEFEATHER. Together with LONEFEATHER, it was Together Feather, really. Nothing lonely about that. It was so you guys finally got to come see them. I've only played with them like 10 times, and you guys have never showed up. But you finally did, and I booked a show. And
let me introduce my friends, your friends, the one, the only LONEFEATHER. Come on.
well, what do you think?
I love them. I was everything you said was right. But one thing you couldn't convey, the only way you can really hear or know how good they are is obviously by listening to them, because they're incredibly original sounding to me. There's definitely strains of Thin Lizzy and 70s, a lot of 70s rock in what they do, but doesn't sound like cliched or dated to me at all. Very much their own sound, and I'm guessing it's Jerry who writes most, if not all, the music.
Yeah. Jerry has said that these songs are pretty old. These songs are from long, and they've kind of they've retooled some of them. It seems like, again, we'll find out more, because guess who's coming to town? We're going to have him on here.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do them justice. But their drummer's name is Justice. I get it. See what I did there?
Yeah.
You cannot possibly understand and get that LONEFEATHER experience without coming to see them. We have video clips. We have documentation of them doing. It's a whole new vibe, and I just the reason why I was so adamant about and why we will be doing quite a few shows with them is that it's not three guys rehashing a ZZ Top or a Skinnerd or it just they're doing their own thing, and it's their own sound, it's their own groove, that they it's just it's original. It's really nice, fresh sound, even though some of these songs
Yeah.
are pretty old.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it from listening to it. I mean, yeah, obviously they have that old feel, but I'm not listening to it thinking, oh, this is like a song from that he wrote 40 years ago. I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed that they were that old, but it doesn't really matter because they're just freaking excellent. Like I said, they don't sound dated to me. They just sound really good.
Yeah.
You said the show they didn't have any CDs. Is it that they didn't have any there, or they don't have any recorded?
No, none recorded. This lineup is not very. It's not very old. They haven't been together. Although you wouldn't tell it by playing. It looks like they're very comfortable. Like us three, very comfortable. I can't believe I'm saying it again because I've said it so many times. But one of my favorite thing about the three of us playing together is the ability to redirect the whole song on the fly. It's a look, it's a leg stomp, it's a guitar neck swing or a high kick or whatever it is. We know that there's a change and it's immediate, instantaneous, and it's not even noticeable. I saw a band and I wish I gave a fuck about their name, but I don't remember it. But I saw them, and it was after a show that we did. And again, I'm not saying that they took art, but the reason why I'm saying that, well, I guess I am saying it like that. I don't even care how it sounds, but they took a couple of songs that, and some were covers that we did, and they put them in a medley. But the medley was literally the end of the last verse. Back in the day, to edit. Music, was done on tape, and they would take a razor blade and they would cut the tape and they would stick the tape together, tape the tape together, and that was your edit. And if it was done poorly, I would imagine it would sound da 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 da. There would be just a hair break in it. That's how their medley was. Meaning, it's not a medley. It's not a what I mean. That song ended and the other one started, but there was a. Just a tiny little break in it. And then they went on to the next, and then they went on to the next one. I was kind of like, that's strange. I've never heard them do that before. And they had just seen, I was like, okay, understood. But you can feel that break in it's like a shimmer on the road. And a lot of the times when we do it, you can't tell. You know what I mean? You still, I still see people that have seen us for a while not know where that thing is going to come because we change key and we hit the next thing on the same, in the same breath. There's no transition. There's no, and it's a whole new section of the song, but it's still a conjoined twin because it's, built that way. It's performed that way. So it's
right.
That's one of my favorite things about playing as a three piece is that we get to do that and instantaneously. We can do the same thing with a song that we're just not into. We can just abort and go into another. I love that. Or at the end of songs, as we're ringing something out or coming to the end of it, I can go, this one, we're going to do 2, 3, and boom, and hit it. And there's no, anyway, sorry, I could go on and on and on. It's just really fun. It's one of those.
It is.
I will say this. I got 2 favorite songs from them. So 2 of the songs that I like that song Sucker, and I like the song Pretend.
I knew you were going to say Sucker. I knew it.
Yeah, I just like that they threw a little comedy in there like that, and then I just like the song. Obviously I don't have it memorized, but I just remember going, oh, I like that one. That's a good one. And so I'm hoping they can kind of translate that to a recording. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So. I saw the reaction too. I saw both of your reactions when they were doing those songs, and the other one was Dissolve. I mean, I like all of them. There's not one I didn't like. There's not one that I don't like. Again, I'm not a fan of repetition, and Honeybee has to be one of their most repetitious numbers. And but the song is so well played and so well performed that it doesn't agitate. It doesn't, it flows nicely and it's beautifully. I'm going to get into trouble for saying this. I had suggested for this last show that we just do 5 songs, just kind of set the drum. I know it's hardest for the drummers. Actually, it really is. It's as difficult for all of us because we all have different. Jerry's got great tone. I have no tone. Mine's My tone is like a dog park. His tone is like a dog show. You know what I mean? Just yeah, pedigree. You know, I mean, just so nice. Mike plays Rickenbacker bass, which most people would know from Lemmy, from Motorhead. That's the to me that's the iconic Rickenbacker bass, and that's what Mike McManus plays. And then Justice Swartner, the drummer, his kit is set up just a little bit different than Turbo's, but they both are completely different players. Both pocket players, both meat and potatoes, but still so different. So yes, it will be a little bit of a scurry to get the bands on and off after 5 or 6 songs apiece. But the reason why I would like to do that is because we can cut this part out if we want, and I'm saying me more than anybody. We were really fucking rusty on some of those songs. We hadn't played them in a long time, and just absolutely, yeah, it was torture. It was torture. But again, I think that it would raise the energy in the room. There was good energy. There's no question about it, and the room is phenomenal. Hat tip to Diego, and also Luba. Luba has trained Diego, and two of them are so dedicated and so proficient. It's such a pleasure to play when they are running the board, because it's not you're not going to get a set it and forget it or somebody just out the door and not caring about the set. He was eyes on, eyes locked in the whole time. Tremendous.
Yeah. Well, Luba designed that stage too. That new stage at the Big Top.
Yeah,
was Luba's work.
They took the PA that was outside, which I think we were the last band to play outside. We were the last ones to do that. So outside the back of the Continental, and they took that PA, which is a great PA, and they brought it inside, and they knocked that wall down. They extended the stage. They put the real sound in there. Whereas before it was a couple of speakers on sticks. It's a great room. Musicians, if you can bring a crowd, you need to talk to Alan Hill, because it's a rock and roll room. It's comfortable. The can't say enough about the bar staff. Not only are they friends of ours, but they love their job. They love their venue. They love their musicians. They love again, the 5 songs next band, 5 songs next band. It's definitely be a lot of scurrying. However, I think it would elevate the set list, the stage, energy. And I just think, it'd be a little bit difficult, but I think it'd be really fun. And especially if we could get, maybe we'll tag her in this episode to gently push her. She was in Maine. She couldn't do this one. But we're talking about having a young, wonderful comedian. She's based in Austin, but her name is Kat Swartner. And she's only on Instagram. I couldn't find her on Facebook, but she is a talented, very talented comedian. But I think it'd be really nice to have just a few minutes of banter / comedy / whatever, in between.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
In between the setup. And again, it's one of those rooms where you can sit on the couch and you can relax, and the music can be semi-background, or there's room to dance, which I'm sorry, I'm so long-winded here, but again, LONEFEATHER is one of those bands that musicians can watch, and musicians / other people can dance to. It's very danceable, very fun. It's just no dark. It's all heartfelt rock and roll.
Yeah, very, very satisfying and groovy. That we were talking about the other day. That I really love. A lot of Jerry's stuff that he writes is groove based. He's got riffs, really killer riffs, and Justice and Mike are just locked in with them. I was really impressed with them as a rhythm section. They were one of the best I've ever seen. And some of it is kind of straight ahead, ZZ Top type of grooves, but they'd also have some stuff that reveals their prog. Their prog influences. They had some stuff that was in slightly odd time signatures, but it was still groovy. and I was just sitting there trying to figure out what the time signatures were a couple of times, but I think a lot of it was just really heavily syncopated four. But it's just brilliant stuff. And I just want to say too, again, harping on how great the room is now that they've redone the stage. We all have a long history hanging out in that club, and for ages and ages, it was just a corner. They had a piano and a couple mic stands and some speakers, and it didn't sound bad in there, but compared to how it is now, it's like, wow, because it was in the past, it was always a little bright and kind of echoey. And now that they've, like you said, they've knocked the wall down, they pushed it back. They've got a real stage there. It's almost like a miniature version of the stage at Continental. It's laid out, in a very similar way. The room has a warmth to it now. And I was sitting there pretty much not directly in front of the stage, but I was directly, but like sort of, I don't know, like 20 feet away from it, just center watching them the whole time. And I didn't have earplugs in. A lot of this goes credit to Diego for running sound there, but it was a very comfortable volume. I didn't feel like it was too loud. I didn't feel like it was too quiet. And the room just embraced to borrow your name, your nickname, Turbo. The room just kind of embraced the sound and pushed it out to you. And it was just, I'm really impressed. That place has always been a great hang, that bar. But if you haven't been there since they've redone the stage, which I guess was last year sometime, you got to go. They've got some great stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there again. Actually, we're going to be there for Guest Fest. That's the next time we'll be playing at Big Top on May 16th. Yeah. And then we'll be playing with that's our next Lonefeather show, or Blaggards show is going to be not at Big Top, the next one, but at
Rehab Bar on the Bayou,
which is up near downtown, I think, right?
Up near downtown, yeah. It's just it's right at 610 and 45, essentially.
And that'll be the very next day on Sunday, the 17th, which presumably will be Turbo's last gig before he starts preparing for his surgery. So you cannot miss the show, y'all. You got to come see both shows that weekend, but that's going to be a great weekend for Blaggards. And come see Turbo off, because you may not see him for a couple weeks, or at least a month or two, until he's strong enough to actually come out to the shows and hang out with us. Support your boy. Support the Embracer.
Yes, embrace the Embracer.
It's getting real.
Yeah, I know. I know.
No, one thing that's kind of happening is, obviously I'm stiffening up like crazy. So it's like, man, I gotta, and I felt it before. Yeah. But I think even like the practicing that day has to take place, because it's like, man, I have to stay so loose. I can't sit down. I have to keep moving, even if I'm walking around, because it's like as soon as I stop and sit down, it just goes, it just tightens up so bad.
Let me ask you a question on that. Now I'm gonna try to act like I'm joking, but I'm kind of not. But let me ask you this: of all the advice, I'll start again. Of all the advice that you've received, okay, last time, cut, marker. Of all the great medical advice that you've received, I've just seen some fucking zingers. I mean, no, he's fine. It's his his Cortex Cube 4C9 is it's only temporary, because they're also gonna put in like some B7 into his I just can't. Speaking as somebody that does their own research, and I get all my medical advice from cocksuckers on podcasts. How infuriating is it to watch or to hear these fucking this medical advice coming in from people that have just clearly never even fucking. I mean, they're just. I'm sweating. I'm so fucking angry. What do you do? Do you just ignore it?
I don't want to single somebody out, but I've been getting, in all positive, I've been getting, my messaging and my phone has been, it's like you had a baby. So I'm overwhelmed with all that. I mean, it took me a minute to get through them all. Everybody was messaging me. But there was a lot of advice in there. And a lot of, this is what's going to happen. Some of it's comical. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not getting anything done on my arm. Where you're reading it, and I'm like,
yeah. Where did you? Yeah,
that's your arm. I'm not. I'm like, all right, well, maybe they meant leg. You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. I'm trying not to. I mean, I'm going through my own emotional journey with it, but it's just like it's funny that people, what they do, but I think it's all in good fun. I think it's all in good.
Yeah, I see that
You know,
there's a lot done out of love and concern, but the age of the internet has me very curmudgeon-y. I get a little too angry too quick. That's always been a trait of mine. But it's not a simmer, it's a boil when I see people running with your information to give to others about what's going on. I go, no, 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 it's going to be a month. You're going to be back in a week. It's going to be. If you ever have talked to Turbo, you know that there's one thing that there's not going to be. It's not going to be a guess, and it's not going to be ambiguous. It's not. It's going to be researched, and uh,
yeah, I think the thing too is, I kind of caught myself doing this. I was like, why am I proving this? Like, I was always like, I've been telling, like I was saying, I was like, oh man, these next 2 months I'm just going to be telling this story over and over again. So that part's a little bit like, well, how much info am I sharing? What am I doing? What's going on? But I do want to say something. This didn't happen from an injury on that tour. I've had instability for a long time. It's just these repairs that I've had my ACL and PCL repaired when I was 24 years old, and they just went out and they gave out. And so that's what happened, And so my atrophy in the leg has been happening. It's been developing. You're not really noticing it because, I exercise all the time. So, my leg was always a little bit smaller, but now it's starting to expedite, and that's probably happening over the last few months. I probably just wasn't paying attention to it. But that's where it just fell back. And so that's kind of what because I've had a lot of people ask me, what happened? Did you fall? Cause I get up on the tables, like what has happened? And I'm like, nothing has happened. It's just over time. It just said, see you later. And so I need to get that fixed. And that's what's happening. So I want to clarify that because I feel like I've been responding to so many people trying to correct the story. And I'm like, let me just say what happened,
Yeah.
That's why there's no injury of pain behind it. The pain's already there because I have advanced arthritis because right now my knee is partially dislocated. The brace is holding it, the stability together, but I do have a slight dislocation. It's out of place, and that's not going to get fixed until I have the surgery. So,
good,
rock, man. Let's just play fun. So,
yes.
And I love it. I'll say one thing. I love that you called and you're like, hey, man, your last day's 18th. I got a show on the 17th. Is that cool? And I go, yeah. And you're like, I'm already clocked in till midnight, bro. I already knew this. I knew that there was going to be a Sunday show. I was like, I hope he does that. I'm going to be upset if he doesn't because I'll be like, he's not a normal character. Like something's going on. You know what I mean? Like, what's the deal, man? So thank you for doing that. So
well, and here's the thing. The long and the short of it is this. I didn't want anything happening on my watch that was, and we knew the history. We also knew Chad and I were there on the second trip to Arizona a couple of months ago. On the second time this year that we went to Arizona, and you were rubbing your knee much, much, much more than you usually do on your OnlyFans, foot page. So it was alarming. And then I just didn't ask you, I asked you if you're all right, but I didn't go into any detail because I knew it. And then we're at the woodshed and we're rehearsing that time and you sent me the x-ray and I was like, motherfucker, he wasn't trying to get out of loading gear. He was,
yeah.
which incidentally, again, for the record, it is still very difficult to stop him from carrying stuff and bringing stuff out of that, which I don't want him to do. Again, I know people know me as the doctor. They know me as a physician. They know me as a gynecologist. They know me as a pediatrician, ladies. And the
Messiah.
You're not going to. I'm not going to be responsible for a collapse, which I know it's not. But again, it's just it's one of those things. We don't. Like we were talking about before you jumped on today. We're talking about these. Like these businesses that support bands, we're behind you all the time. We're with you all the time. We're gonna send you our business and we're gonna send you everybody else's business because you're supporting our livelihood, and man, we're eternally grateful. And let me also just say, which we haven't said in a while, let me also just thank everybody for watching this and for tuning in. We've had so much great response over the last few years doing this, and lately it's really spiked up. And so just our heartfelt thanks, deepest thanks to everybody for watching, and especially our Patreon crew. And I can't even the reason why I don't sleep, the reason why I can walk on water or climb ceilings is because of the coffee that has been sent, the endless stream of the tour coffee, man, God. So just thank you all for that. But I really want to again just thank you for joining us on the journey and staying with us and all that stuff. It's a lot of really cool stuff coming down. So thank you.
For sure. Speaking of Patreon too, just we don't push it enough. We have a lot of supporters in there, and one of the regular benefits you get from being a Patreon supporter is you get to hear each episode of SlapperCast day or two early, sometimes several days early, depending on what's going on. And every early release you get is mostly, sometimes it's partially edited, but for the most part, it's completely unexpurgated, uncut. A lot of extra conversation that you don't hear in the final edit. It's inside information, you can call it, or just sometimes it's just goofy banter that we cut for time. But anyway, I hope y'all can join us there, and we always appreciate your support, y'all.
Yeah, the reason why there is the tiny edits is one of us, who we will not be named, usually will spout something pretty horrific, and I just want to tell that person that that yes, I'm sure there is something that loves you somewhere, but really don't do it again. End of story. So let me also ask you this. So since the outpouring of support has been just so ginormous, so unending, it's not going to stop now. But what would your emails look like if they were hacked? What would your all of you? What would you be pretty devastated if your emails, your texts got hacked and released? No, definitely not.
No,
I know.
I think people would say he's crazy. Mine would be he does so much. My emails are a lot, and so I think that's what people would think.
Yeah,
they would probably message Stacy and say, "You deserve nice stuff." Like you have to put up with him.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is I think every time I look at my inbox, I said, why do I never unsubscribe from all this bullshit emails I get every day? I mean, there's literally like 100 I must receive every single day, and I'm just delete. And it's just it's that extra effort to hit unsubscribe I usually don't take. But then it's like a lot of these companies, like they're sending you emails from like 10 different lists. So you unsubscribe to one, there's still 9 more, and then they add you to 2 more. It's like whack-a-mole in the worst way.
Yes, it is. I thought about that too. With our our wonderful FBI guy getting hacked, and he just cracked me up. I was like, man, for the amount of miles that we do and the amount of stuff that we're doing it wrong. Because I mean, nothing. There's my texts. We would fall asleep. You would just be like, "What the fuck is that guy?" For somebody that's as yappy as me, my texts are really boring. My emails are non-existent because it's fucking. No, I'm not. That's more than 3 sentences. I'm not writing back. Fuck off.
I deliberately keep all my text history because there's some really it's huge. I mean, it takes up gigabytes of space on my phone now. I just don't want to get rid of it because there's a lot of really funny. Mike McAloon, our old drummer, have sometimes gone and sent these old texts to each other. You remember this? There's these stupid like little inside jokes that happen between gigs or whatever, or as we're communicating with each other during shows or on the way to shows. I love having that history. At some point, I'm going to have to get it off my phone because it's going to be so huge, it won't fit on the phone anymore. But
you need to use this thing called Decipher Message. So I had to get messages off my phone. And it takes a long time for the first upload, but it stores them all on my computer. It takes them all. You can take them all off your phone. It's amazing.
Okay.
And it keeps everything. It stores it by number, by name, by organizing. Decipher Message. So
cool. Are they a sponsor of the podcast?
No.
Okay. Well then blank that fucking name. We're not fucking advertising. They're So
Trying to help my man out.
I know, but no, you're right. You could just text him that information, not be fucking advertising. Anyway, so
Hey,
and then finally we have finally for this episode on the #1 rock and roll podcast in the
multiverse.
That's right. SlapperCast,
I beat you, bro. If you cared, you would have said it faster.
I was waiting for you to say it. That's your line. I'm not gonna bogart your line.
I had to unmute real quick. I didn't have my hand on the mouse. I was like, ah.
we need buzzers. We do have Bad Astronaut coming up in downtown Houston, which we're excited about. We've got we got another Gillespie show coming up, and we've got we're going to put the old knee through the ringer before it's time to get the new knee. You know what I mean? So we're going to be seeing a lot. We're going to see a lot of the peg leg, the embracer, and we're going to make you beg for that surgery.
Maybe we should make the live album a 2-disc set. So there'll be one first disc will be old knee, the second disc will be new knee.
Oh, that's hilarious. I do want to tell people, because people are always like really worried. Hey, can I help load gear? Can I do this and I'll do that? And I appreciate all that, but we got everything handled. You know what I mean? So if you see me, limping around, a lot of it is not necessarily my knee. You have wraps on my hamstring, my calf. Unfortunately, those have tightened up so bad that's why I'm really limping around a lot, because my leg is kind of shutting down. So I just want to thank everybody for offering for the help for that. But you guys enjoy yourself. We're there to perform and have fun, and I want to make it not about the leg. I want to be able to just focus on playing, and let's just have some fun.
Yeah.
All right. Over these next 2 months, let's have some fun.
Mission accomplished. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Let's let it ride, and thank you all for tuning in. We will be back, and next week we're going to have some very special guests. If you caught the beginning of the podcast or the middle of the podcast, you'll probably guess who it is. But love to have you along, and we're just always delighted to see you all. And that's Turbo, the Embracer. That's the Impaler, and we're going to be back. We're going to be back before you know it. So thanks a million.
All right, y'all. See you next week.
Bye.
Cheers.